I was on the road when I finished my basket, so I didn't do the step-by-steps with the camera. On the sides, I did 4 rows of stockinette stitch, 1, 2, 3, 4 times, 5 times, so that I have a little bit of texture here. I did stockinette that faces the inside, stockinette that faces the outside, inside, outside, inside, and then went back to garter stitch here. I also added a handle by binding off 20 stitches, evenly spaced in two different places, and then on the next round, casting on the same 20 stitches and continuing in the garter stitch, and binding off on the knit row. I also sewed up I did this on circular needles, so there's no side seam. There is a place you can tell where, in order to maintain the garter stitch, this is where I had a marker, and I would knit one round, then purl one round, knit, purl, and this is where you change from knit to purl. So that's the only seam there was, but it wasn't sewn, it was knitted in. But I did have to sew up the bottom seam, and I can't even tell where that is, honestly. I had to gather up this middle a little bit and then sew up the seam. I think this is the seam. Now I think I want to felt it. I'll try that tomorrow. I am going to do something I've never done before. I'm going to dye my white hand-spun wool basket with Kool-Aid. This is the kind of Kool-Aid I have. That is strawberry. That is berry blue. Swirling strawberry starfruit. Oops. Blasting berry cherry. And just cherry. I mixed 1 packet each in each of these bowls, except for the blasting berry. I had 2 packets. And I just added hot tap water to dissolve the dry powder. I'm going to use this turkey baster to suck up the dye and squirt it on half of my basket. I'm not sure what I'll do with the other half. I'm thinking that the colors will soak through. I'll have to see how much color I have left. I'm going to start with Blastin' Berry Cherry, because that's what I had the most of. I have a baster full and still have half of it left. That doesn't go very far. I think I might have to just get serious with my Blastin' Berry Cherry. Suck up the rest and do it. That's it. Alright, I'm going to wash my turkey baster and try another color. Here comes Swirling Strawberry Starfruit, which appears to be pretty orange. I think I may have forgotten to say that this bag is very wet. Not soaking wet. I squoze out some of the water, but I soaked it in warm water before I began. I think I might actually try to turn this over. There are some colors coming through. This is cherry. This color is cherry that I'm about to put on. Here's strawberry. I'm trying to avoid mixing the colors, which is probably fruitless, but trying. Turn it over again. Sure I am. The colors have spread. That's it for my dye. Now the only thing I need to do is steam the bag, basket, whatever it is, for half an hour to set the colors. I am hoping that this process will also begin to felt. I have a pan that has a poached egg tray that I have my fabric on. I'm going to cover it with a domed lid and steam it for half an hour. Okay, the bag has steamed for 45 minutes, so it's very hot, but it looks like the colors are the best where it was right above the water. They kind of melded together. I didn't like the color of the purse, so I got 5 packets of grape Kool-Aid, and now I am going to heat it up in this pot. It looks to me like 5 packets is still not enough to give it some deep color. When I started this process, the water was very purple, but after cooking for half an hour, you bring the water almost to a boil and then you turn off the water and let it sit. Oops, I'm fogging up my lens. The water is clear because the fibers absorb all the dye. So I'm going to rinse this with cool water and take it to an agitating washing machine and felt it. Here's a look at it after being wrung out just a little bit. The color isn't too awful. It's not too gorgeous, but it's not too awful. Now I'm going to put it in a pillowcase and tie it up so that it doesn't come out of the pillowcase, because that would be disastrous, and put it in an agitating washing machine with either a towel or a pair of jeans I don't care about. I sent this through a sanitizing wash in my front load washing machine because I don't have an agitator. So it was super hot water, and then I spun it out. I don't think you're supposed to spin it out, but I think this worked. It looks to have shrunk, at least 30%. Now I'm going to put it on a rack in my dryer and put some forms in it to see if I can get it to dry the shape that I want, the roundness and the height. This is what my rack looks like. Makes it so that it just sits in the middle of the dryer and gets dry instead of tumbling in the dryer.